all of Arel's brilliance. So I'll share that with you guys at the end. Welcome to the webinar, guys. It's great to have you. Arel, thank you for being here today, man. It's gonna be a good time to hang out.
I'm super excited about, man. We are going to we're gonna jump in right out the gate. I'm gonna spend very little time talking about my backstory. Happy to give a little context so everyone gets it, but my goal is to make this as valuable as possible. We're gonna be utilizing the chat. So for those of you who are with us live, participate as much as you can. If you're driving, please don't. I trust you. You're humans. Don't make bad
Yeah,
choices.
we're looking at you. So, no, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Guys, this is going to be super powerful. As you know, you're here for a reason. We are talking about how to capitalize on those last 5 minutes of your speaking gigs to turn those into more bookings. I think, as I'm sure Arel will share with us here, we all face a similar problem. We get to the end of that presentation and we want our audience to take action, be it join our list or leave us some feedback or turn into more leads and more bookings. That can be a complicated endeavor. And Arel has built an incredible solution to help our industry accomplish just that. So this is going to be a two-part webinar series. Part one here today is all about Talkadot, how it works, the psychology of collecting feedback and leads at the end of a presentation. And webinar two, which I'll share a link at the end, is about how we integrate that into SpeakerFlow for our SpeakerFlow users and for those who just want a sense about what we do here at SpeakerFlow to nurture those leads past the point of collecting them. That will be coming up on November 9th. And Arel, a dear friend of mine, we had him on the podcast. I shared a link in the chat earlier. Definitely go check that out. An incredible episode. A friend of ours, and creator of Talkadot, professional speaker, and a host of a Disney Plus show, which we talk about it in the podcast. Go check that out. An incredible human being. Arel, again, it's awesome to have you here. I'm going to let you take the stage, my friend.
I appreciate you having me, brother. Yeah, so just to kind of piggyback, I'm gonna do this very quickly. Do me a favor in the chat. How many of you would like for me to skip a 30-minute backstory of who I am and why I got into speaking and just go into the stuff that matters? If you'd like that, give me a yes. If you'd like me to do a 30-minute backdrop on why I believe speaking is so important and give you my insights into the speaking industry, feel free to say no, and then I'll spend 30 minutes and then you'll be listening and trying to fast forward to the point. Okay, I think we're all here. I personally hate when folks spend all their time going into that backdrop. So here's the quick backdrop. I got into speaking about 16 years ago when I was in my 20s and fell in love with it, tried to figure out everything. I fell in love with speaking and the business side of speaking. So not just the art of it, but the business side. And I got really into the art. I've been doing it for 16 years. I've spoken to over 750,000 people, 48 out of 50 states. I haven't spoken in Hawaii and Alaska. So if anybody wants to help me get to the nifty 50, those are the only two I haven't spoken to. I've been invited to speak at the White House. I've given 3 TEDx talks, best-selling author. And because of speaking, as Taylor mentioned, I got invited to become an expert host on Disney Plus show called Family Reboot. So if any of you have Disney Plus, you can type in Family Reboot and watch, and you'll see me on there. And all that happened because of speaking. I've gotten to do incredible things, travel all over the country. I've spoken in 5 countries too, all over the world. Speaking is amazing. And the fascinating thing about speaking as an industry is I've done all of that work. And for the most part, none of you have ever heard of me, right? And I just want you to be aware of that. I have a very, very successful speaking career. I make lots of good money, impact lots of people, but I still have to sell myself. I still have to do the things to get speaking engagements. And many of you probably have years of experience. You have an incredible message, but there's this feeling of like, I still have to do things. And I don't know about you, but is anyone frustrated when you go to ask a speaker for advice and you're like, man, you're so busy. How do you help me? And their advice is, I don't do anything. All the business comes to me. It's all referral. Do me a favor, give me a yes in the chat if you ask for someone advice and they give you that advice and you go, that's the worst advice. That's actually non-advice. I do nothing. I do nothing and I just make millions of dollars. And you're like, what? How do you possibly, what? And it's like, it's so, oh yeah, or I'll tell you, but sign up for my course. It costs $1 billion. And I got my inner plutonium group that I'll show you all the secrets, right? And it's like this, like super, it was this frustrating process for me. And I'm still at a place now where I have to do things to generate business. So speaking is one of those interesting businesses where if you rely just on word of mouth and referral, like you might have to be in the game for 20, 30 years in the same industry, in the same niche, and be prolific in content creation. It can be very frustrating. Or you can kind of figure out what's everything that you need to do to get more business. And I'm going to share my screen here because I want to go over some slides with you about this. But the main thing here, I'll pull this up, booyah. The main thing here is if I want to take the most complex of speaking and make it really simple, that's what I want to do for you. So that's enough of my background. If anyone wants to Google me, I'm the only Aurel Moody in the whole world. So if you go to social media or Google, it's very easy to find more about me. However, many people say I look like if Kanye West and Shamar Moore had a baby. So if you Google Shamar Moore and Kanye West, you might find me.
Oh no.
But I'm just going to move on. I'm going to move on from there. All right. So this is the simplicity of it. Make it easy for people to say yes. Now, I'm going to explain exactly how to do this and how to turn the last 5 minutes of your talk into a calendar full. But this is the premise. When you actually think about it, most speakers do the opposite. They actually make it super hard for people to say yes. There's a lot of friction. So for example, let's just basic things. If you don't have a website and you want to get booked a bunch, you're creating friction. Well, if I don't have a website, I can't book you. Okay, well, if you don't have a speaker demo, it's a friction point, right? So what happens for a lot of speakers is they create friction points whether they realize it or not. Now, if you are like me and you're listening to this, I love speaking. I will do it until I can't breathe or can't speak anymore. I don't love everything else so much, to be very transparent. I do it because I love speaking. Does that make sense? I learned how to do sales. I learned how to do marketing. Not because I, Aurel, am in love with marketing and sales. I'm in love with speaking, and these are the necessary things that I must do so I can speak more. But out of curiosity, give me a yes in the chat. How many of you would like to put yourself in a position where you could just focus 90% of your attention on speaking and not on all the other stuff? So give me a yes in the chat. I see it absolutely from Josh. Absolutely. Booyah. Yeah. That's what we want to do. Thank you, Julian. Thank you, Shola. Thank you, Rachel. Like, that's where we want to spend our time. And then it's like, oh, I just wish. And then we say things like, oh, I wish I could just have an agent. Oh, that would be amazing. Let me just get a bureau to represent me, and then they can book my whole calendar. But what bureaus will tell you, and they will say this unabashedly, they only want to book you if it's not hard for them to book you. If you're someone like Gary Vee, of course they want to represent you because they don't have to do anything. They just like let the leads come in and they take the orders and they say, are you available? Boom, boom. So how do folks like you and I who are in a position to want to get more speaking engagements, but realize we can't do nothing, right? Taylor, I don't want to use systems all day. There's a reason why I'm a SpeakerFlow client. I was like, I don't want to manage any of this stuff. And I was like, when I saw SpeakerFlow, the CRM, I said, this is all I'm doing. I'm like, I jumped right in, like right away. Because I was like, and I'll tell you what I love about SpeakerFlow. And I have to say this. What we do as speakers is we take something else and we try to make it work for our industry. We do it all the time. We try to take software and tools and make it work. But SpeakerFlow, when I saw it was built for speakers, I was like, let's go. This is the thing that I want. So like, I love like to cut a steak with a steak knife and not cut a steak with like a dull butter knife. So anywho, I just want to shout you out, Taylor, because you're the man.
Much love.
Yeah. So it's so true. So anyway, so what we do as speakers is we add a lot of friction to allowing people to book us. Now, allow me to explain to you in terms that I think are really easy, but we've never thought about from a speaking perspective. Now, there's a guy named Shep Hyken. I love Shep. He's an incredible guy, and he's a speaker. And he has this little cartoon. I think it's amazing. So it's a if you can't see this because you're listening, cab driver. Oh, Shep's here. Oh my gosh, I didn't even know Shep was with us. Shep is here, and I literally took this from Shep because Shep is the man, right? So there's this incredible taxi experience, right? My life is miserable. My wife can't stand me. My kids don't listen to me, and I hate this job, right? Now imagine being in a taxi and hearing the person saying that. Out of curiosity, in the chat, give me a yes if you are old enough to remember taking taxis to get from point A to point B. I want you to think about the whole experience. Give me a yes. So I'm seeing my Y's, that represents yes, right? Okay, so we don't have anyone who's like 17 who's like, what's a taxi, right? I want you to remember what taxis were. You had to wave them down. It was this huge frictionful experience. Then when you got in the taxi, some of y'all remember Robert Downey Jr. when he was young. Shout out to you, Roger. Right? That was like old school. Robert Downey Jr. What am I saying? Robert De Niro. I can't say Robert Downey Jr. Robert De Niro in Taxi. Oh my gosh. Anyway, my point is that whole process, it was a lot of friction. Okay. In addition to that friction, right? How many of you ever had a cabbie who was smoking a cigarette, had a dirty cab, was like running through red lights and making your heart pound because you thought you were going to die, and you just needed to get from point A to point B? And it was a miserable, frustrating, friction-full experience. But you know what we all do? We took it. We accepted it. Because what was the other option? Until someone said, let's solve that. Let's make it smooth. Let's make it easy for people to get rides. Let's make it so that there's an incentive for people to actually do a good job, right? Like now I'm going to rate you at the end of this ride. And right now, if you don't get a 5-star rating as an Uber driver or a Lyft driver, it's like death. So, I mean, when I get into an Uber, oh my gosh, they got water bottles for me. It's clean. It smells nice. They got chargers of all different sorts because they're doing everything to get that 5-star review because there's accountability. In our industry, there's no accountability. It doesn't exist. So if you're a sucky speaker and you go out there and you do a bad job and make a bad name for the rest of us, people have to take it if you did a decent job for 45 minutes on stage. But if you did a horrible job and there was nothing else, like how would anyone know? Like we wouldn't. Let's go a little bit deeper, okay? Why is it that I can book a house that I've never seen before in person, never visited before in person, and I can go on Airbnb right now and book it and feel fully confident? Well, why does that exist now? Same thing with Uber, same thing with Airbnb. Let me do one more because I want you to get this. Let's say you want to go buy a podcasting microphone. Maybe you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so inspired by Taylor and his podcast. I want to start my own. But like, how many microphones are there? So if you went to Amazon right now and you looked for a microphone, and let's say you found this microphone, and let's say you have the money and you want to invest in it, what would you say is the most important aspect of the whole Amazon? The Amazon has this long page, this super long page. What do you think 82% of all purchases on Amazon do before they make a purchase? Gordon says reviews. Any other suggestions? That's right, reviews. I want you to think about this. This is how we make almost all of our decisions in modern society. The reason why Uber works is because I can see that this person did 8,000 rides and have a 4.9 rating. I trust them. I'll get in a cab. The reason why I can go to Airbnb and stay in a home I've never seen before is because I know 300 people stayed in here and they're real people and they all gave it reviews. I can go to Amazon. I know nothing about camera equipment. I know nothing about podcasting, but I can make a confident decision because I'll look at this microphone and say, look, $400, it's in my price range. 8,297 people gave that a 5-star review. I'll buy that right now if it's in my budget. Right now. Why? Because I don't have to do all of this guesswork. I don't have to do all this work. That does not exist in the speaking industry yet, right? And that's what we're getting to, because what Uber did, what Airbnb did, what Amazon does is it makes it easy for people to say yes. And this is super important. What if you could take that same level of confidence and make it easy for people to not only book you, but rebook you? That's what I'm gonna show you how to do today. So I want you to this is premise number one. Make it easy for people to say yes. Now, once you make it easy for people to say yes, there's another thing that we all want an amazing influx of. And I'll put it right here because we all know what it is. Leads. You want it, I want it, we all want leads. I want people coming to me saying, I want to book you. It's a much different conversation, by the way. When people come to you and say, oh my gosh, Gordon, I'd love to book you to come speak at our event. Can we talk? That's way different than asking people, would you please book me? So, how do we get a sense of leads? Now, I will tell you this, right? Who is the best person to book any one of you right now? Who is the best person to book you right now? Is the person who's seen you speak. Period. If I've seen you do your thing, it's super easy for me to know if you are a good person for my event. But here's what's happened, and do me a favor, tell me if anyone's had this experience before. Give me a yes in the chat if you had this experience. You finish talking, you get off stage, and a crowd of people rush up to you. And they want to either get something signed, or they want to take a picture with you, or they just want to shoot the breeze, right? This is me at a picture out of high school doing a speech, right? So all these people rush up to you. Now tell me how many times this has happened. You don't know which person in the crowd wants to give you their business card and say, oh my gosh, I'd love to book you to speak at my conference. Or which person's like, oh my gosh, we've got the best local library you've ever been to. Do you like reading? Because you got to come to our library. What cologne are you wearing? It smells really good. I want to buy that cologne. Oh, you're from New York? I love the Yankees. And they just like shoot the breeze, shoot the breeze, shoot the breeze. And you're like, yo, like, I don't want to be rude, but there's this huge line of people behind you, and I want to give you your attention because you're important, but I also don't want to spend 45 minutes with a long talker who's just shooting the breeze. In a perfect world, we love that experience where after we talk, people rush up to us and then someone gives us their card, right? How many people have had that experience? Someone gives you their card and goes, oh my gosh, I want you to come speak at our event. You're the perfect fit. And you grab the card and maybe you fold the corner. So you're like, oh my gosh, this is great, right? But it's so hard to do that when you actually are doing a good job as a speaker because everyone rushes you. Now, here's what's even more fascinating. If you've ever done a virtual talk, and many of us have done tons of virtual talks over the last couple of years, as soon as you hit that end meeting button on Zoom, there is no crowd. Zoom has not figured out one of the best parts of speaking in person are those hallway conversations, people coming up to you afterwards. But right now, there's no way to do that in the virtual world. It's completely gone. And what we know about every Zoom and every in-person talk is that there might be 100 people in that room, but there's one person who might be able to book us. And if every single time you speak, you can get that data, get those reviews to make people feel confident and make it easier for them to say yes, because this is how people make all decisions. And you can pull those 1 to 2 to 3 people from your audience who can book you to speak every single time you talk. Your ability to book more speaking engagements and focus on speaking or doing the parts of the business you like becomes so much easier. And then if you integrate it with the backend system like SpeakerFlow, forget it. You're sitting in a wonderful, wonderful place, right? But up until now, it's been almost impossible to do something like that because it hasn't existed. So what we've done as speakers is we've reached out and we go, oh, text this message and you'll get a text and then you give me your email on the text and then it'll give you a thing. And then it does this AI text generation. And it seems so cool, but then maybe we don't do it. Or maybe we do it and 3 people actually like do it. Or some people at the end of every presentation, they put up a contact slide with their social media and they go, oh, follow me on social media, please. Or hey, yeah, book me. I don't know what to say at the end. I'm uncomfortable, right? And then no one takes action. You know, the followers don't go up as much as you'd like. And, you know, sometimes the leads come in, sometimes they don't. But what if this whole process could be organized and systemized in the last 5 minutes of your talk? If you get this and you want to know how to do it, that's what we're going to be doing right now. But it was so important that we have the right mindset going in, because if you are like me, you constantly want to get the respect you deserve. You want to be able to get better at your craft and skill and be able to impact more people with your message and not spend your time doing the things you don't like to do. But what we want to do is spend the time doing the things we like to. And that is the whole reason why this whole software Talkadot was created, was to solve all these problems. So what we're going to do right now is break down all of the ways you do that. And I want to show you how simple it can be. And then what I'll do is I'll jump on the website and actually show you in real time. So it'll be super, super duper fun. So if you're ready to jump into this and you're ready to go in, do me a favor in the chat, give me a oh yeah, so we can break down exactly how you can solve all these problems in a super simple, super easy way. So if you're ready to do that, let me get an oh yeah. Thank you, Gordon. Thank you, Shola. Shout out to John Register.
Heck yeah.
Jason Pascal, Stephen Lemon. I see y'all, man. Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Julian. Y'all listen to me at 1x speed and you still with me. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. All right, so let's jump into this. So this is all you have to do right now. So I'm gonna show you what to do. I'm gonna show you how to say it, and then I'm gonna answer any questions that you have, right? It's gonna be really, really cool, okay? And by the way, for anyone interested, at the end of this, I'm gonna give away a couple of things that I think are gonna be super cool and just like bonuses, right? So I'm gonna give away a list of 17 organizations that book speakers. So if any of you just want a list of associations, I'm gonna give that to you as a thank you for being with us today. Also, remind me at the end, Taylor, because I'm gonna do something that even you don't know about. I got a super bonus prize that I wanna give away to folks. So if everyone sticks with me to the end, I promise, but just Taylor or everyone in chat, remind me because I don't have it in my slide deck. I decided to do this last minute. So just remind me and I promise you it's gonna be really, really cool. Okay. All right, so let's jump in. So this is what's called a Talkadot slide. Okay, so this is a Talkadot slide. This is what's created through Talkadot.com. And all you have to do is download our Talkadot slide, insert it into the end of your presentation, and you are done. Everything that I just said, all those problems that I just talked about get solved. So I'm gonna explain to you exactly how all those problems get solved in real time and show you why this will give you an incredible edge on everyone else that's speaking. So here's what I like to do. At the end of all of my talks, at the end of every single speaking engagement, I do yeah, you can see the Shamar Moore. Yeah, it's there. A lot of smoldering, hold on. A lot of smolder right there. Watch out, Jasmine.
Look at that.
That's a lot of, that's an upper left-hand corner, a smolder. That was like the best smolder I've ever had, so that's why you'll never see me. I only smile moving forward. All right, so everyone has a different way that they put their talks together. The way I typically end my talks is I have a main idea, right? And then I have a call to action. So I say something like a big idea. So in this case, I say gratitude cannot coexist with anger. And then I'll give them a step that I want them to take with this last idea. What I do in that last 5 minutes, right before I do the call to action, I ask for their feedback and I do it in a very, very specific way. The way that I do it will allow me to get 60 to 80% of every audience I speak to. Ooh, I done broke my thing here, hold on. I get about 60 to 80% of every audience I speak to fill out my survey and give them their feedback. I'm just gonna throw this over here. This just broke off.
That's how it's done.
It's just it's gone.
Just throw it out.
We're not using it no more. My pop filter's gone, so if I start saying popcorn and 7 and it don't sound as good, it's because my pop filter left me. So I get about 60 to 80% of all my audiences to fill out the survey. I get leads from every single audience, and I've added over 6 figures of extra revenue into my business using what I'm about to share with you. It's the same thing. I do it pretty much every single time, and it works every time. So after I finish my last big point, which is gratitude cannot coexist with anger, I then will pause and say, out of curiosity, by a show of hands, how many people here felt like they learned at least one thing that would be helpful for them today? Now, if you and I do our job, everyone should say yes. The moment they say yes, their reciprocity, their feelings of gratitude towards you, the speaker, is at its all-time high. So then what I say is, oh my gosh, thank you. Well, the best thing that you can do to pay me back is to give me your thoughts on this presentation. I want to know what you liked about it so I can do more of it. And I want to know what you didn't like about it so I can do less of it, because I'm on a mission to get my message in front of as many people as I possibly can. So if you guys all want to do this right now, guys and gals, I want you to see this in real time if you'd like to, and I'll show it to you as well in case you can and you're watching this on a video. You can scan that QR code right there, or you can just type in this link, boom, boom. So typically what I'll tell people is I want you to take out your phones, scan that QR code right there. If you don't know how to scan a QR code, you just open up your camera app, show it on that QR code, and a link will pop up. Click on that link. Take less than 2 minutes to fill it out. And if you put in the code LIST, I'll give everybody, as a thank you for taking the quick survey, a list of 17 organizations that book speakers, right? So I'll ask my audience to do that. Now you can give away anything that you want to give away, a PDF, an audio program, maybe you have a special link. One of the things that I love to give away as a free gift is a summary of my presentation. So I'll either type up a summary or just give them a PDF of my slides. And the reason why that's so valuable is because in the beginning of my presentation, what I say when I give away a summary is, hey, if any of you don't like taking notes, don't worry, I got you. I'm gonna give you a summary of everything we talked about at the end of my presentation. So if you just like to be focused and locked in, I've already organized the most important parts. So you can just listen and have a great time with me, and I'll make sure to give you that at the end of my presentation. Or if you like taking notes, by all means take notes, but you won't miss anything because I promise to give you a summary at the end. So I say that like in the first 10 minutes of my talk, so that people can go, oh, thank you so much. I can be locked in. I don't have to worry about like saying something and missing something. So some people don't like to do it. Some people do. Then I go and intro this, and let me pull up my slides here. Okay, great. Just for my sanity, can you see this? Yeah, great. So now they put in list, and then they put in whatever email they want, right? Now I want you to notice the survey question flow. This is really important, and I'm gonna give you an under the hood, behind the curtain look into why we ask the questions the way we do. So the first question we ask is, was this talk valuable? Yes or no. If they say yes, it takes them in one direction. If they say no, we wanna find out why didn't they find the talk valuable and get that valuable feedback. So let's say they say yes. Now we ask, is the talk engaging? And we have this really quick 5 Likert scale, right? Is it engaging? Is it actionable? Is it interactive? Is it relevant? And is it inspiring? Those questions, through our intensive research of event planners, are the most important questions they want to have answered if they're going to book a speaker. That's what they want to know. So we want to capture the information data-wise that event planners want to use to make their decisions. Then we ask, are you interested in hearing a future talk by me? Say they say yes. Now this is where it splits again. We ask, do you book speakers for events? If they say yes, we take them down a flow where we can now capture them as a lead. If they say no, we don't even ask them any of those questions. We go straight to the testimonial questions. If they say no, but I know someone who does, we then ask if they're willing to make an introduction. So again, if they can't book us, they're not getting peppered with questions that are irrelevant, where if you're on stage and you try to pitch or sell something from stage, an audience could get really upset, or event planner could get really upset. But with this, it's only relevant to people who actually can book you. So let's say they say yes. Boom. Do you want to book a route? Now, if they say no, we don't ask them any more questions. We leave them alone. If they say, yes, I am interested, we go, great, what's the best way to contact you? So they can put in their name, they can put in their number if they so choose, they can put in their title, and then their organization right then and there. Now, we ask this question. This is a very specific question. I want you all to catch this. If you had to describe this session to a friend or colleague, what would you say? This will get you way better testimonials than what did you think about my presentation. This sentence structure, this question structure gets you way better answers because number one, can they remember what you talked about? So that's like number one. And number two, are they talking about your presentation in the way that you want them to talk about it? So this helps you understand what people are most getting and what they're not. So if you have one direction and they're going in another, you want to be able to find out. So let's say they go, Kanye, I can't spell Kanye. Kanye East was I. Okay, so that's what they call me in the streets. Okay. Then they say, what else should the event organizer know? This is where they can say anything. Hey, the AC was too cold, whatever, you know how people are, they can say whatever they want to do, right? So what I do when people are taking the survey, Janice, right? I say, oh, excuse me, I think it was Rachel who said that. I say, take the survey, and when you're done taking it, put your phone down and look up so I know you're done, so I can leave you with my final point. So that's what I say. And then during that time, I go and I get a drink of water. I arrange my papers. It takes less than 2 minutes. It feels more uncomfortable for you than them. But what I'm doing by telling them to put their phone down and look up when they're done is I'm letting them know I got one more thing to tell you. So you might as well look up when you're done because we ain't leaving until you look up. And most people get it and get done. And then I'll leave with my close or leave with that, right? In the virtual world, I say, when you're done taking the survey, put the word done in the chat, and then I'll leave you with one final thought. So then you start seeing these done, 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 done start flying into the chat. And then like if I have, 75 people on this call, when I feel like a good number of those folks did it, boom, there we go, right? Yeah. So what I do, Rachel, is I ask the event planners, do you mind if I get data and feedback on my talk so I can provide that to you? And they always 100% say yes. No one's ever said no. Okay. So now at the end of this, they can click here, and this link is a summary of my talk or the PDF that I wanted to give them. In this case, if you actually took the survey, this is a link of organizations that book speakers. So I put together a little, report for you. So it's really, really nice. And then if people want to connect with me on Instagram, boom, they can just click on my Insta, connect with me if they want to, easy peasy, lemon squeezy, Twitter or LinkedIn. Now, once they do this, let me show you all the magic. This happens behind the scenes. You get one QR code or one URL, like mine's talk.ac/Moody in this case. But once you do that, right, let me show you what happens. You get these reports. So let me pull up an example of a report here, okay? Pull this up for you. All right, wonderful. So this report automatically gets generated for you through the Talkadot software. So now I can see in this case, 42 people responded, 100% found it valuable, 97% said they want to hear me speak again, 99% said it was actionable, engaging, inspiring, and relevant. You see this? Now let me show you what I do with this. This is what I do with this, okay? Right? I now go to my event planner, the person who booked me, and go, oh my gosh, Susan, I've got to show you this data. It's amazing. It's really fascinating. So then we show them. 100% found my talk valuable. 97% said they want to hear me speak again. I do other speaking engagements. We should really talk about booking one of those other ones because clearly the audience wants this. So the rebooking conversation gets removed from that awkward first date convo that we've all had. How many people have had the awkward first date convo with event planner? Hey, I like the event. Did you like the event? Maybe we should do another one. What do you think? And then they go, maybe. Let me see what other people had to say. Like it could be uncomfortable, right? With this, the data does the talking. Look, 97% said they want to hear me speak again. Let's do this. So I can do it with an incredible amount of confidence because it's not my subjective feelings, it's the data. And if people are saying it's actionable, engaging, inspiring, and relevant, why wouldn't they? Now, this is the part that I want y'all to catch that most people aren't going to catch. Every decision maker has to validate that the money they spent on you was well worth it. Now, and someone asked about, since many event planners do their own evals, every single eval that I've ever showed, this is way more beautiful and way more detailed than anything else other people are doing. Typically, it's like one global survey at the end. What did you think about the overall event? What did you think about the one speaker? I've always had event planners love this because they share this with their executives, their committee, their fiscal agent, right? They'll go to their CFO and say, hey, remember all that money we spent on that speaker? Look at the data from what the audience had to say. Now it justifies that the money they spent on you was actually a good decision. Because every time someone books you, they're putting their name on the line. They are. And if you don't realize that, you are missing someone can get fired if you suck. Now, what if one person didn't like you, right? So in this case, someone said, probably not. They didn't want to hear me again. What if that one person was vocal? That event planner might think that I actually did a bad job. But when I have data like this, they're able to now suss out the white noise from the actual music. So that's why it's so important, because how many speakers will put on their website anything that's remotely negative? Well, none will. But real authentic feedback is trusted. When we interviewed event planners, what they told us is that they don't really trust your testimonials because they know you're putting them on your website. So they know you're not going to put anything remotely negative or bad. Every speaker is the best speaker and the most exciting and most energetic. But now you can prove it. And by showing real numbers, you trust it. And I'll prove it to you. How many of you have gone to Amazon and seen a product that had 100 5-star reviews, but they didn't look real? And you're like, I don't trust it. You expect to see a couple 1-star reviews, a couple 2-star, a couple 3-star. You expect to see that. And if you don't see it, you don't trust it. And you know that's true for you. So by creating a report like this that actually shows real data, I now can trust you. Look, some people didn't like it. Some people thought it wasn't that good. That's okay. And this is probably the hardest thing for speakers to catch, is because we want ourselves to be perfect. But you wouldn't trust anything that was 5-star reviews only. You need to see some reality. And this allows people to actually go, you're different from everyone else. You've separated yourself. And in essence, they actually trust you more. And then down here, we get great feedback, right? We say, well, what did people have to say? We can click on view all and see what everyone had to say. We sort it by word count. So like people who said awesome, that's not like super duper helpful. So we like to see what people had to say. Now, once we have this data, we can do a couple of things with it. Now we're getting rebooked with it, right? So this is how we get rebooked. Let me show you how you get booked with it. First thing you do, we have this little handy dandy feature here where you click on this, and it creates this Instagram friendly, social media friendly report, right? So you can download that report and then upload it to your LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. And instead of doing what most speakers do, which is, hey, I just spoke at this event, here's a picture of me on stage, and here's a picture of me with a group of people, you can now go, oh my gosh, look at this incredible data from this event that I just did. Here's what people are saying about it. This type of stuff juices me up, it jazzes me up, however you talk, right? But now you're showing results. What's happened on my LinkedIn is people have seen me posting, and I actually had a client who hadn't worked with me in about 5 or 6 years say, hey, I'm seeing all this incredible data. We'd love to bring you back. I had other people who saw it and said, I want to introduce you to someone because your stuff is looking amazing. So what happens is you start building your brand and your reputation around data of how effective you are in your work, and not just telling people, right? It's showing them. Then you can click right here and you can instantly get your testimonials. So you can click and download these, upload them again to social media. If there's like, oh, I just want to share this one's super dope, you can just click on that one and share it right then and there. So you're able to share your report, or you can click here and copy the report link and then send this URL to someone and it'll show them this whole report. Here's why this is powerful. Let's say you want to speak to a group of insurance agents and they're like, well, how well do you do? Like, are you going to do really good with this? And then you can say, yeah, here's some data of reports that I did for events just like yours. Or here's what my last 10 events were. Here's the data on those 10 events. And you can share that with them. And again, you could fake one event, you could fake 2 events. But if I've got consistent positive feedback, I'm now making it easy for them to say yes. Because every single planning committee, they got a couple people on there. I like to call them Data Dan and Negative Nancy, right? These are the people that are constantly trying to disprove any decision. And if anyone's ever been on a board, you've probably seen these people. Someone brings something up and someone wants to shoot it down. So if we're trying to choose a speaker, and apples to apples, you and another speaker are the same, but you've got data and they don't, who do you think Data Dan and Negative Nancy will go with? Well, I don't want to go with the other speaker. They have no data to prove how good they are. I want to go with this speaker. So you can send this to potential leads, to potential markets. I've actually used this when reaching out to cold contacts saying, hey, I spoke at a group just like yours in Michigan. I know you're in Florida. I thought you might like to see the results of that talk to see if it might be a good fit for your group. So I send them the data as my lead-in, which again, no one does. So this data gives me that confidence and that trust for people to say yes, okay? So someone says, let's say you give the same workshop 3 to 4 times for the same client. If you make a separate QR for each workshop, can you merge them and aggregate? Yeah, great question. It's one QR code. We do all of the back end merging for you, right? So what that means is if you've got 3 reports and you're like, I want to put all these reports together, you just email us and we'll just boom, merge them together for you. But this is one of the benefits of how we've set up Talkadot as opposed to like another group, right? It's one QR code, one link, and we do all the separation on the back end for you. So what that means is you just throw in your QR code or your Talkadot slide, right? And by the way, we create the Talkadot slide for you if you're curious. All you got to do is like upload your offer and then click here. And that slide that I showed you is automatically created for you. If you're like, no, I'm a designer, Aurel, I don't want to use yours, you just click download my QR code and it'll give you a QR code. And then you can just design it however you so choose, like right then and there, right? So it's really, really, really cool. And then this link right here, the talk.ac/Moody, that's your persistent link. So it's one link, one QR code. So you don't have to worry about like, did I update the right QR code, or, oh, I'm doing a brand new talk. Like, what is the, like, one QR code goes to the survey and then everything gets separated for you on the back end, right? So this is how you start using this as a way to build trust and confidence, reach out to people with your data, build your brand on social media. And this is doing all that heavy lifting. And all you have to do is post and share. It's easy peasy lemon squeezy. Okay. So then someone said, hold on, Brett said, love the data and social proof results. Can you talk more about potentially uncomfortable silence when you're asking people to complete during your talk? Have other speakers tried this? Yeah. The silence is easy, right? So what I do in that 2 minutes is I say, please take the survey and I'll leave you with one final thought. Then I'll walk over to the side of the stage, right? And then I'll look at some papers, or I'll look, but like sometimes there's no papers and I look behind like the lectern and I just move papers around. Some people will walk over to the event host and have a quick conversation. Oh my gosh, everything is going so great. Thank you so much for having me. So there's lots of things you can do. When it's virtual, I just sit there and then I type in the chat. Remember, we're taking the survey at this link. Say done when you're done. And then Susan will say she's done. Thank you, Susan. And then when people start putting their phone down, I start looking at them with eye contact and nodding. And I look at them and say, thank you, very quietly. So I start doing that. There's lots of reasons I do that, but one of the reasons is to deal with the silence. And the second thing is it's showing that other people are taking the survey. So for anyone who's like not interested in taking the survey, it gets them like, ooh, I should take the survey. Everyone else is doing it, right? So yes, Jed, we do. So these are great questions. I want to answer these and go on to the lead section. Then we'll just open it up for lots of Q&A. So right now it's separated by time. And if you have some reports, let's say, for example, Jed, you do a talk, and let's say these 2 talks were the same talk and you want to merge them. You would just click here, and then put merge into one event. And then say, yes, I'd like to merge them into one event. And then boom, they get merged into one event right there. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. So you can manually merge events if you're doing more than one. But normally what happens is we separate them by date. And so when you do more than one talk, we have the ability to separate those for you as well on the back end. And then we're building the software to do that as well automatically. But you can separate everything that you need by date, by flow. You can do it manually. We got your back. So no issue there whatsoever, right? Can people take it later or only during the talk? People can take it later. You just want to merge their results into the one. So let's say in this case, Ruth, these 2 people actually are here, right? So they took it later and you look at it and you go, oh, that based on that data, that should be here. I would just click here and then say merge it to one. And then boom, I can manually merge it right then and there. So what we found is that if someone's going to take your survey, they're probably going to take it right then and there. You might get a couple of stragglers. We've had about 10,000, over 10,000 people have taken our survey, and we've had hundreds of events. And what we found is that people who take the survey take it right then and there. Maybe 1, maybe 2, maybe 3 people will actually take it later, but it's very rare and it's easy to merge it like super duper quickly. Yeah. All right, great questions. Keep having these questions come in. And I'm going to show you something that I think is going to be very exciting, and then we'll open it up for questions, right? So this is the lead section of it, okay? Now, remember when during the survey, people said, yes, I book speakers. Yes, I want to book you. Well, here it is. This is all it right there. So these are all the people who said, yes, I book speakers, and yes, I want to book you. So I can go here and see what did they say about my talk, what was their action, and then I have their phone and email, and I can just reach out to them and I can say, oh, I got their title, I got their thing, boom, I can reach out to them. Now, if you want, you can hit download as a CSV file and download these leads and upload them into like your survey, MailChimp or whatever it is. For those of you who do have SpeakerFlow, when we do our November 9th, we're going to show you how it all integrates. So as soon as your leads hit this, they automatically go into SpeakerFlow and you automatically can get them tagged and put into email sequences, and you've done absolutely nothing. So that's going to be like a whole other, we're going to break down how to do all that in November, but it's super easy. So if you want to have it automated and you have SpeakerFlow, and if you don't, you should highly consider it. Your leads come in, they get put into your CRM, and they get their email campaigns reached out to them so you can book them. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. If you don't have SpeakerFlow yet, like consider it. But if you don't have it, you can download this as a CSV file and then manually go through it as well. Right here, these are your referrals. So this section right here, these are all the people who said, yo, I can't book you to speak, but I can introduce you to someone who can. So now everyone who's a referral, I can download it as a CSV file if I want, or I can reach out to them directly and say, yo, you attended my event. You said you wanted to refer me. I'd love to talk to you about what you were thinking. Let's set up a time to chat. I can't wait to connect. So now every single time I speak, I have people who said they want to book me, and I've got their contact. I've got the people who said that they want to refer me, and I get my email opt-ins right here. So everyone who takes the survey, they put in their email, and there's a checkbox that they can uncheck if they don't want to hear from you, or they can, leave checked if they want to hear from you. And then you actually build your email list. Frankly speaking, we don't do a great job of building our email list, right? But if we want to sell books, if we want to sell courses, if we want to sell future speaking engagements, having a list of people to do that with is a fantastic, fantastic thing to have. And almost every speaker I know, they always say, I wish I spent more time building my email list. I wish I spent more time doing that. It's just, man, I just wish I did it. Now, all you do is put in the link right here at the end of your talk, and this slide, and all of this gets done for you. So now you have leads to follow up with. You have ways to get rebooked, which is the closest thing we have to mailbox money as professional speakers. And you have ways to reach out to people, right? So it's really, really, really cool. And I'll show you this, and then we'll go into a Q&A portion, because I'm sure folks might have questions. Let me pull this up. All right. So I kind of went through this, so I'm gonna show you real quickly. So we have the survey, people ask the survey. We get the reports. We use it to get rebooked. You get social media shareable images. You get leads. You get referrals. You get email opt-ins, okay? So this is a bonus that I'm going to do that not even Taylor knows about, okay? So not even Taylor knows.
I'm so excited, you guys. My heart's like fluttering.
Okay? So I am unabashful that I want to raise and elevate the speaker industry. I want a rising tide to lift all boats. What I mean by that is I want speakers to be able to say, this is what I'm worth. I've got the data to prove it. And people aren't going to be like, hey, I know your speaking fee is 10,000, but could you do it for 1,500? Like, I want those conversations to be done. And I want you to have people who want to book you and they feel and have enough information to do it, so that the people who are good, who are the cream, they rise to the top. And the people who are jerks, show up late, are mean, are like divas and divos, I want them to be exposed, so that the negative name that so much is in the speaking industry, and we all know about speakers who are divas and divos and cause us to all look bad, I want those folks to get pushed down or to change their game. And I want the people who are actually good to rise to the top. So this is the bonus. I'm gonna give away 2 bonuses for you. So if and when hopefully you sign up for Talkadot, and I'm gonna give you a special link where you can sign up for that, so we can know that you are here with us today. I'm gonna give you 2 bonuses. The first bonus, if you sign up for our pro account. So for anyone who's curious about how much does it cost, we have a free account. So if anyone's like, I'm not willing to spend any money, I don't trust you, I never liked Kanye, he's making a lot of controversial statements, I got triggered when you came on, and I don't feel comfortable with you, sir, right? Like, if you're one of those people, we have a totally free version of Talkadot, right? So I'll show you how to get access to the free version. But for those of you who are like, no, like, I'm good, I want the pro version, I want all the features. We have features in the pro version where you can actually get a meeting booked. This is really important. At the end of the survey, as a pro feature, if someone gave you all their contact, they can actually click a button and schedule something with you on your Calendly or through your Zoho or through your Schedule Once or whatever you use right there in the survey, if they're like super duper hot, right? So we got cool features like that. In the free version of our, we cap it at 250 contacts, 250 leads. So with the premium pro version, it's unlimited. And the SpeakerFlow integration that I told you about, that's one of our pro features as well. So if you're like, yo, I'm all in, I want to go pro, here's additional bonuses that I want to give to you. Okay. The first is I'm going to give you a recording of a training that I did that will show you step by step how I broke into a completely cold market where no one knew me. I had no contacts, no experiences. My years of speaking did not help me. I'm gonna show you step by step how I broke into that. And this year alone have booked over $500,000 in speaking fees from that one niche, okay? I'm gonna show you exactly step by step how I did that. That's a 90-minute training that I did. I'm gonna give it to you absolutely for free just for being part of this. And on top of that, I have something called the True Speaking Success System. If any of you have ever heard of me before, you know that that was the course. That was my flagship course. Everything that I've ever learned about branding, marketing, selling, systems, and speaking, I put into that. That's something that I've sold tons and tons of for $2,000, $1,997, because you know how info marketers be. We can't sell something for $2,000. We got to go $1,997.
Gotta go for the sevens, man.
We gotta go to sevens, right? So I have hundreds and hundreds of students who've bought it at that price. It's valuable. One of the things that I love about it is that we have our sales script. So literally, when you jump on the phone, we get you all these leads. What do you say? So we give you the exact questions we ask in the exact sequence that I've used for the last 10 years. That's booked millions and millions of dollars. That's in that system. I show you exactly how I market and get in. I show you exactly how I brand myself. That's $2,000. I will give it to you for free if you join pro before December 15th, okay? So you go, oh my gosh, December 15th, Arel, like it's October. What are you talking about? So let me break down even more of what we're doing. So if you head over to talkadot.com/speakerflow, okay? Talkadot.com/speakerflow, here's what you can do. On that, it's a special page we created just for SpeakerFlow folks, okay? If you don't want to get a pro account and you're like, no, I don't trust you, I don't want to get a pro account, get the free account. We want you to use it. We don't want you to think like we're making this stuff up. We want you to experience it. As a bonus, every person on this call signs up for a free account. We'll upgrade you to a pro account at no cost until December 15th. We want to use all the features. We want you to see how the software works. If you have SpeakerFlow, we want to show you how to integrate it into SpeakerFlow. So it's a no-brainer, and that's totally free until December 15th. If you upgrade and say, no, I want to go pro, and especially if you do it like right now, not only will you get all those things, but if you say, no, I'm ready to go right now, instead of it being $420 for the year to get Talkadot, it'll be just $399, okay? So we're gonna give you some money off the top as a thank you for taking action as part of SpeakerFlow, but I want you to take action. If you sign up for the pro version and you say, yo, I wanna sign up for pro, let's go, I will give you the bonus of the course on how to get in with the cold market, that training that I did, and my True Speaking Success System absolutely for free, okay? If you don't want to get those things and you're not interested in those, that's totally fine. You can just get the free account and like not upgrade. Like I think you'll see it's really good. And if you don't upgrade, I think you're still gonna get an incredible amount of value and benefit from it. So please go to that link in the how did you hear about us, make sure to put SpeakerFlow so we know you were here, because then we'll grab all those emails, and the folks that upgrade to pro, I'll be able to make sure you get access to the course and the system, which I think will be really, really helpful for you. So this is something just as a thank you. I want you to think of it this way. It costs $399 for the pro account. What's one speaking engagement worth to you? And if you have the data and you've got the leads and you've got the systems, can you get one talk? And if you do, could you get two? Could you get three? Well, what's one talk worth to you? Like our goal wasn't to charge $4,000 or $12,000 or $650,000. And let me be also clear. This isn't like one of those things that once you spend $420, we're going to do a one-time offer and be like, hey, now that you did that, would you like to join our plutonium program for $750,000? Hey, now that you joined that program, would you like to join our inner circle atmosphere special, $15 million per year? Like, it's not like it's literally like it's straightforward. The reason we did that is because that's what I would want if I were on a call like this. I'd want someone to give me something that was affordable, that I could use, that's straightforward. And that's what this is. So for 399 bucks, you can get access to this for the year, and it's an annual subscription. So if you like it, you can get it again next year. If you upgrade, I will give you those bonuses absolutely for free, because I want to say thank you for spending your time with us. And if you don't want to upgrade, everyone will get a free pro account until December 15th of 2022. And that's it, man. So I'm going to answer questions, see what anyone has to say. If you want to get in on that plutonium atmosphere program, though, it's just there is none. So like, yeah, I can't get you in. But as part of Talkadot, we do trainings every so often for our members for free if you're a member. So like, it's easy peasy lemon squeezy. There's no extension ladder. Like literally, we're just trying to grow the industry, and we want folks like you to be on the ground floor. So we're making it as easy as possible. There's some of you right now that I know you're thinking to yourself, nah, I ain't gonna do it, or I don't trust it, or anything like that. Like if you don't, shoot me an email. I'll put my email in the chat if you have any questions, or if you want to talk to any of us. Like generally, like we're really trying to make this grow. Let me throw that in there, right? Hit me up. We want to grow. And I'll say this. If you're on the call for this long and you're listening to this, you know you want to get the edge. And if you think about how much money we spend on eating at a restaurant, getting guacamole at Chipotle when we shouldn't, getting dessert at the end of the meal when we shouldn't, if you just add that up for 1 month, I'm willing to bet all of us has spent 400 bucks on something that we can't even put measurable units of benefit on. Whether it's Amazon purchase, go to your Amazon order history right now. I bet you'll see tons of purchases that have brought you no value that are easy to do. This is 35 bucks a month billed annually that will literally give you so many levels of respect, so many advantages over other speakers. So if you have that voice in your head that's saying you don't trust or you're not willing to do it, I would say challenge that voice, because that's how you go to the next level. And if you're ready to go to the next level, this is the time to get in at the ground level. And for all of you who get in now, we will take care of you, because we got Mike Mays on this call. He's our head of customer support. He will break his back to make you have a great experience. We got Pokin Young, who is the product genius on it. I want to see you succeed. I'm in the industry as well. So you're joining an incredible group of people that want to see you succeed and have no vested interest in like doing anything except helping you do well, because we all win when we all win. So we want more people to win. So I will pass it to Taylor. We'll open it up for questions. And Taylor, I know we got our November 9th thing, so I want to make sure if folks enjoyed this, that they know about that, so they can really get the most out of the Talkadot SpeakerFlow relationship.
That's exactly right, guys. So for anybody who signs up for Pro and wants the SpeakerFlow integration, I actually have an offer for you guys. We'll just build it out for you. We want to get as many people on the SpeakerFlow user train who are using Talkadot to experience the full integration, see what it's like, give us some feedback on it. So shoot me an email. I guarantee you every single one of you have that email. So let me know and we'll hook you up with the integration if you upgraded to Pro. And again, if you set up an account right now, you'll have Pro until December 15th. So we'll get that upgraded. Just hit me up if you want us to build the automation out for you ahead of the webinar. However, on November 9th, this is when we're going to be actually running the webinar, the workshop, if you will, breaking down how the automation works, how to nurture leads automatically, add them to your email list, separate out who's a booking lead versus a referral lead versus a mailing list lead. And these systems are going to hum together, basically. And that's the goal, right? Get on stage, get your feedback, get your leads, and start the nurturing process without you having to lift a finger. So I just dropped a link in the chat to go and register for that. For those of you that are watching the recording or that have left, I will send you the recording along with this link to register as well. So if you don't get it here, I'll send you the link anyway. Make sure you register, and then we will show you how the integration works. It's going to be a good time. Aurel, this has been super powerful. I think we have a few last-minute questions. I think I only saw one in there from Ruth, and I think we can tidy this thing up, shall we?
Yeah, it sounds like a plan. So this was a lot of fun. I mean, I don't know, like when you watch this, feel free to watch it on 1.5 speed, the recording, and I'm gonna sound like a maniac going super fast because I get like so excited. I'm busting my button open because I get so excited when I talk. So answer a couple of questions. So Pat asked, within the Talkadot survey, are we able to require certain fields like phone number to move forward? So we don't require those fields to move forward because we want people to have the comfortability. So what you'll find is that if someone does not want to give you their email or phone number, they're probably not the best lead. So that's okay. If they want to give you their phone number and email, it's because they actually want you to contact them. So we'll find you'll get way more people giving your email address for the email opt-in. But if someone wants to book you or refer you, you'll see tons of people give their phone number. So you'll have no issue with that. And we want you to also have higher quality leads. So if someone gives you their title, their name, their organization, their email, it's a pretty good indicator that they're very interested. And you don't want to spend your time talking to people who aren't. So great question, but that's the reason that we did it. Let's get some more questions. I'm looking. All right.
Oh, well, I saw a question earlier asking about different offers and how you can make sure you get a different freebie. If anyone has a few minutes to stay on, if you wanted to show that part super quick.
Oh yeah. Let me pull this up here. Hold on. Let me pull up my share here. Oh, okay. Here we go. Share screen. Boop. Oh my. I'm getting some weird lighting over here because the sun is setting. Lord have mercy. You're just gonna have to deal with shiny arrow. So right here, where it says add another survey offer. So let's say you want to give away a PDF to these executives, and you want to give out a video to these frontline staff, or you want to give out a special resource link to students, right? And you want to have different offers. All you do is put add another survey offer here. Click on that button. You can either paste the URL here or upload your PDF, audio program, or video, right? Whatever you want. So let's just, I'll just put something random like that. I'll name it something random. This is so that I know what it is. And then I'll put a short code here, right? Like random, right? And then custom questions are only available if you are, pro user, right? So you can add like a custom question like, do you like one-on-one coaching? Would you like to get coaching? Or, hey, I taught you 5 things today. What's the one thing that was most valuable to you, right? So you can add your custom question. That's another pro feature. So you click create offer. And then boom, the slide automatically gets created for you. The code gets put there. And if anyone takes their survey and puts in the word random when they start their survey, they'll get the different offer. Now, one of the things to keep in mind is if you are a free user, you can give away 2 custom things. And we have this one already baked in called Talk. Let's say you have a talk coming up and you've got nothing to give away and you're freaking out. And you're like, oh my gosh, I want to use Talkadot, but I don't have anything to give away, or I don't want to give away something. Well, we have this generic code Talk that when someone puts in Talk, it doesn't give them a freebie at the end of the survey. So if you just want to give them the survey and nothing else, there's no like incentive you want to give, this is the slide that you'd use. And then you get these 2 other ones to create whatever you want. If you do want to add more than those 3 right there, when you hit create offer, it'll ask you to upgrade your account. So as a free user, you get 2 free offers. As a pro user, you have unlimited free ones. So that's a great question. All right, let's go more questionerinos. Am I missing anything here?
Podcast one. Yeah, interesting question from Jasmine. I'd be curious your take on this, Arel. Have you used this during podcast interviews to capture leads and to build your list?
Yeah, so if it does not matter, so let's say you're using one of your Talkadot accounts, right? And you're not using it for an industry or event planner specific event. Like I'm speaking at NASPA on November 15th. I want to capture those leads. Let's say I'm just creating one for a podcast. What I would recommend doing is saying, hey, everyone, I would create a separate Talkadot account just for your podcast and not speaking. I would not commingle the 2 because that would get a little bit like clunky. I would say, hey, tell me what you thought about this episode. Go to talk.ac/Jasmine and let me know what you thought. Let me know if there's any types of topics you'd like for me to talk about. If you have suggestions for guests, that would be great. Throw it in there. I'd love to get your feedback. And then you can get like a bunch of reports and you'll get like 2 answers over here and 50 answers over here and 4 answers over there. Then you can merge them into one report if you want. But it would, as a podcaster, it'd be really interesting to use this to get data on what people think about your podcast. And then also things like, I want, show suggestions so you don't have to come up with, because like in YouTube, there's a comment section. In podcasts, there's no real good comment section. So you could definitely use it in that way. And if you have any specific questions, shoot us an email at hello@talkadot.com and we'll work through that specific use case. So this was custom built for the speaking world, but we'd love to see if there's a way we can help support you on the podcasting side.
Heck yeah. And I think that about does it, guys. If you have any questions after this, you can email me or Arel at arelmoody.com, Taylor at speakerflow.com. Don't forget the second R. We can address your questions too. Make sure we clear anything else up. I will be sending the recording to all of you as soon as this thing processes, so stay tuned for that. It will also be KanyeEast.com. We got to see if that's available, Arel. I doubt
I should find out.
Anyway. Yeah, just a parody website. Anyway, the recording will be up in SFU, guys. If you have any questions, you know where to find us. Don't forget to register for the 11/9 webinar, where we're going to show you what to do after you have all of those leads in your back pocket. If you like this, drop us a comment and say goodbye. It was awesome seeing all of you guys, and I'm sure we'll see you all again soon.